So, you have probably heard a lot of talk about online disinformation and its impact on society, but I'm not sure we all understand just how much of the content that we encounter online every day is probably false, or at the very least manipulative. We need to talk about the scale of the problem. It's even bigger than you think. I recently attended a seminar on disinformation's impact on the 2024 EU elections. During the event, a speaker from Google offered up some sobering numbers. She said that Google employs over 20,000 people to fact-check YouTube content. These 20,000 fact-checkers had deleted over 16 million channels and more than 8 million videos because of false or misleading content. And yet, there is still disinformation on YouTube. By Google's own admission, most of the deleted content was not political in nature. Most of it was deleted due to fraudulent marketing claims. And political content is much trickier to moderate due to free speech rights, and there's very little that a platform like YouTube can do about content that brushes right up against violating the terms of service, but doesn't quite slip over the edge. In fact, according to media researcher Tobias Rose Stockwell, some social media platforms actually prize this borderline content because it maximizes user engagement. The content makes people angry, so they share it to their friends, who get angry and share it to even more people who get angry and share it. And then we all post about how angry we are. But let's get back to the numbers. The Internet Research Agency was a troll farm based in Russia. In 2015, activist Lyudmila Savchuk infiltrated the operation and reported that hundreds of workers on site and many more working from home churned out fake and misleading content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And this content went way beyond memes. They created detailed sock puppet accounts so they could comment on other users' posts and disrupt the conversation. They reached millions with bogus Facebook groups. They created entire websites for groups that didn't exist. Analysts estimate that between 600 to 1,000 people worked at just one of their offices, with a quota of 100 posts per day. That's 60,000 to 100,000 fake posts a day from one office. Estimates show that Internet Research Agency material reached over 100 million Americans on Facebook alone in 2016. And that's just one troll farm operation. We don't even know how many troll farms there are, or how many individuals out there are trolling just for the hell of it. We don't know how many influencers and pundits are on someone's payroll. Some US officials estimate that between 20 and 30% of all political content and comments on social media were generated by troll farms. Suffice to say, the internet, as we know it, is absolutely choked with false and misleading content. And since most of us get our news from social media, this presents a bit of a problem. How bad is it? A 2024 Harvard survey found that 50% of Americans cannot distinguish a statement of fact from a statement of opinion. The situation is so grim that the World Economic Forum recently named online disinformation as society's most critical short-term challenge, ahead of even climate change effects. So, what can be done? There are lots of useful debunking resources available out there, but frankly, they're overwhelmed. Drowning fact-checkers with a relentless stream of false and misleading information is a disinformation tactic, and it reveals the weakness of relying on fact-checking as our only counter-strategy. Fact-checking has been described as a traditional media approach to a digital media problem, but think back to what we just said about Google. Even digital media companies are poorly equipped to handle this issue, and it's unclear that some of them even want to. Hey everybody, it's Dan here with a program note. I recorded this before Meta announced that they were going to stop fact-checking, so now we know that there is, in fact, at least one digital media company that does not want to fact-check. Absent government intervention to force social media companies to do a better job of moderating content or some sort of undesirably intrusive censorship program, we are going to have to learn how to protect ourselves. Okay, so now you're probably thinking, what can I do that 20,000 fact checkers can't do? Well, the first thing, believe it or not, is don't get too hung up on fact checking. In the 1983 film War Games, the heroes save the world by tricking a supercomputer that's about to start World War III into playing thousands of games of tic-tac-toe. The computer soon realizes that the game is futile because no one can ever win, and it applies that lesson to nuclear war. By the way, spoilers for the 41-year-old movie. This is how I want us to approach dealing with disinformation online. We can't win against it, so let's not engage with it. And how do we do that? By understanding what happens in our brains when we're exposed to it. We'll discuss this in more detail in subsequent videos, but if you're not going to watch those videos, if you can't stand the sound of my voice and you never want to see my dumb face again, at least promise me this. When you encounter content online that sparks an intense emotional reaction in you, positive or negative, stop. Take a breath, because someone is probably trying to manipulate you. And whatever you do, don't share it, even if you agree with it, especially if you agree with it. Because the sheer amount of disinformation online is only part of the equation. The other part of the equation is us. Our brains, thanks to biology and evolution, are really, really vulnerable to disinformation. In fact, in some ways, our brains kind of like it. And that's what we're going to talk about in the upcoming videos. But in the meantime, don't be a disinformation mule. Trolls get paid to spread disinformation. You don't. So don't do it. Remember, when it comes to online disinformation,
the only winning move is not to play.
links to all the material and sources used to create this video are available in the description below. Thanks for watching. Hi, it's Dan again. If you like what you see here on the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. You know how that works. Reptiles with a Mind is pretty much a one-man operation, and you're looking at him. So if you think the show has any value, especially in these crazy times, please consider leaving a thank you gift here, or think about sponsoring the show on Patreon. Patreon sponsorship gets you ad-free videos that won't get spiked by the algorithm, bonus content as soon as I create some, and down the road, I'll be offering merch. A link is in the description below, and thank you.